Hey everyone, Ryan Young, Kama Jiu-Jitsu. And one argument that keeps coming up, it doesn't matter which video it is, people will comment this particular thing. Not everybody, several of you. And that is that today's Jiu-Jitsu came from Judo. And being that Judo is the original art, Judo is superior. Or it'll be something like, Carlos and Elio didn't make anything up. They didn't create anything. All they did was they just took Judo and renamed it Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. So, fast forward, 2018. Is Jiu-Jitsu something different than Judo? To me, the answer is yes. They're very divergent in the way they do things. So then some of you are going to say, well, what about this Kosen Judo, right? Kosen Judo is a different style of Judo from Kodokan Judo that tends to focus more on the grappling side of it and less on the throws. Kind of like Jiu-Jitsu. So then being that Kosen Judo has been around longer, I would assume, than Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, people were going to say, well, you know, all they did was they took Kosen Judo and rebranded it as Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. Maybe that's true, maybe that's not. Being that there's no more real intermingling between Kosen Judo and Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, I think there is a difference. But at least I don't have any experience with Kosen Judo. And Kosen Judo is, in Japan at least, it's practiced by the vast minority of practitioners of Judo. The vast majority of Judo practitioners do Kodokan Judo. The only thing I can do is kind of compare Kodokan Judo to Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. Now, if I look at Gracie Jiu-Jitsu today, there, as we've discussed in earlier videos, there's really two factions of Jiu-Jitsu. There's a sport side and there's a traditional side. I think the traditional side tends to be more curriculum oriented, although it's kind of loose. As an example, when I started Jiu-Jitsu, every one of Elio's sons had the 36 lesson curriculum that they took you from white belt to blue belt. Because Jiu-Jitsu was always taught up until maybe the last 30 years as private lessons, they had the first 36 lessons mapped out for you. And each lesson that you would come in for, it would have a self-defense technique, a takedown, some groundwork. And you do that 36 different lessons, and once you master them, then you get to your blue belt. And then from there, you go into the more upper level grappling type concepts. Judo also has a strict curriculum. It doesn't matter what Judo school you go to. If they're all Kodokan Judo, then at every belt, at one particular belt, let's say at green belt or the second green belt or the blue belt, I don't know if they have blue belt, brown belt. So the school that I went to, they had green, black. Then they had brown, black twice, and then black, your Shodan. But every level, it doesn't matter what Judo school you go to, you're going to know the same things. You have to know the same repertoire of throws to qualify for a certain level. So by the time you get to a Shodan, a black belt, you're supposed to know all these same techniques. And it doesn't matter what school you go to. The criteria, the curriculum is laid down by the Kodokan. That's not the same with Jiu-Jitsu. You know, the biggest sanctioning body in Jiu-Jitsu is the IBJJF. And they don't have a criteria to get to certain belt levels that every school needs to meet. So if you go to ABC Jiu-Jitsu school and you train there and you get up to purple belt, you go to XYZ Jiu-Jitsu school as a purple belt, their purple belts know different things than you do because it's a different instructor. And to make it worse, sometimes in one school, you'll have purple belts that know different things in one school. There's no standard. So in that way, Judo versus Jiu-Jitsu. In that way, Judo has it down better because they're more up for having a consistent product. Because you can go from one school to the other, and a green belt in one school is a green belt in another school. A brown belt in one school is a brown belt in another school. Whereas in Jiu-Jitsu, it's not the same. You know, I've seen blue belts destroy black belts, really. Like utterly destroy them. Now, it's not that they know more than the black belt. It's that they have a command of it better. I mean, so I guess maybe knowledge-wise, the black belt, I guess, is a black belt. But as far as actual execution, night and day. So I guess one of the things that Grandmaster Hickson is doing with the Jiu-Jitsu Global Federation is to get to a point where we can standardize everything. Turn Jiu-Jitsu into more of like a Judo conceptually, where the practitioners use the same belt standards, and to get to each belt, they know the same thing. The Gracie Academy, Hiron and Henner, have been doing that. You know, that's where they have their combatives as your entry. and then they have the rest to get to your blue belt, and then I guess that's where the master cycle starts, and they have their curriculum online in Gracie University. That's something like what we do here at Kama Jiu-Jitsu. But the thing is, for the combative side for the Gracie University, plus whatever it takes to get the blue belt, Kama Jiu-Jitsu's curriculum is probably double that. But it's, like I said, there's no standard. So in the debate of Judo versus Jiu-Jitsu, some are better than the others. They talk about Kosen Judo being about 30% throws and 70% groundwork. In a lot of Jiu-Jitsu schools, throws are 5%. Groundwork is 95%. So you'll see competitions where both fighters both enter the center, grab gi, sit down on their butt. No takedown whatsoever. They both sit down on their butt and they're both playing guard. Where's the takedown? So what if you have a judo competitor who enters a jiu-jitsu tournament and he won't sit on his butt? And he just decides, I want to stay on my feet the whole time. What's the BJJ guy going to do? Right? He has no way to take him down. He's just going to hang from him and try to take him, just try to drag him down. Judo guy has base. He's not going to get taken down. Why should he get taken down? Right? He'll throw the guy down, but once he throws him, he'll get right back up. How many times have you seen that in the UFC, right? You have a guy who's a wrestler, and he knows that all he has to do is just take you down, take you down, take you down. He can win that way. Didn't George St. Pierre do that to BJ Penn in their very first fight? Right? St. Pierre was busted up. I mean, he looked ugly, but he kept fighting, and in that last round, he took BJ down, took him down. In fact, he probably did it maybe in the last 2 rounds. Just took him down repeatedly. Didn't put any damage on BJ, but kept taking him down because he knew that based on the rules, he could take him down and win. If you look at what's well-rounded, okay, both BJJ and Judo are not well-rounded. But if you compare one to the other, you know what you're getting with Judo. You don't know what you're getting with BJJ. You have schools like the Gracie Academy, Kama Jiu-Jitsu, and some others that have curriculums. So you try to turn out a uniform product in your members that have minimum standards, and then from there you take it even higher. So as far as this argument goes, Judo versus Jiu-Jitsu, 2 different arts, apples and oranges. Can't really compare them. The fact that one came from the other means nothing to this day. I mean, it was so long ago when they were one art, but they're not anymore. Now there are elements that are common to both, but I think for the most part, both arts have gone away from the entire art and have chosen to specialize, one in grappling, one in throws. As always, thanks for the subscriptions. Thank you for liking our videos. And if you like more, go ahead and subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and go ahead and click that bell on the right side so you can be informed when we put out a new video. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Hope all is well. Take care now. Bye-bye.